Good afternoon, Dennis Kaiser here with Allstate, Bellingham, Washington, coming to you live to talk about the new Long-Term Care Act coming to Washington January 1st to a paycheck near you, 2022. Come January 1st, whether you know it or not, you'll be participating as a W-2 employee in what's called the mandatory premium assessment, and that's going to be 0.0058 cents against every dollar that you basically earn. And so what that translates to is a $100,000 income is going to pay $580 a year in order to fund the first state to have a long-term care program for its elderly who would need that, post-retirement. So very well intended. What does that mean to you? That means as your income continues to go up in terms of W-2 to include commissions, overtime, and bonuses, you will also continue to make payments at the same rate, but on a higher degree of income. So if you're a 25-year-old today paying on 50,000, just under 300 bucks a year, but you make 200,000, when you're 55, well then clearly you're going to be paying closer to $1,100 for exactly the same $36,500 benefit that currently is the long-term care program. Now that doesn't mean the state can't change it, raise it, but if they raise it, you can rest assured they'll probably raise what they're going to charge as well. So why am I telling you this? What other options do you have? Well, you do have some options. Unfortunately, a lot of the options have dried up or taken their maximum amounts available to provide a long-term care policy or program or endorsement or benefit that would meet potentially the state's guidelines of having at least a $40,000 long-term care benefit through something you personally own or invested in or have yourself. So we're fortunate at Allstate through Allstate Workplace to have a group universal life policy. That's for employees. It's a voluntary benefit, so your employer has to make it available to you, but you in fact would pay for it through payroll deduction. Now, according to the state, if you had 40,000 according to their guidelines of long-term care benefit, then that would potentially exempt you once they start taking the submissions October the 1st, reviewing them and seeing who's going to be granted that lifetime exception, which again, based on the guidelines, you should be fine. So with our lifetime with our lifetime benefit that we're going to offer you, which is based on the premium price that you're going to pay today, you'll have that for the lifetime of the contract. Not only do you have a life insurance policy for $40,000 or $75,000 you choose, but you get to also use that for the long-term care endorsement benefit that would meet that $40,000 minimum up to the $75,000 on the second option. Why the two options? Well, long-term care is very expensive. $75,000, although that might be enough for today's dollars for a year's worth of care in a non-memory facility, that's a $3,000 a month is what it translates to for 25 months. Clearly more than the 40,000 would provide. But if you're simply trying to be in control and maintain the costs and protect the premiums you pay and how it's going to impact your paycheck in the future, then the one benefit here is your price is dictated at the age of issue. So if you're a 25-year-old, your price is $19.37 for the $40,000 variety, and it's $34.42 for the $75,000 policy. That is going to stay the same price, payroll deducted, for as long as you're in the program up through age 95. If you leave your employer, it's portable, so you can take it to whatever you're going to do next, whether that's in-state, out-of-state, self-employed, W-2, then in that case, we're just going to do, instead of payroll deduction, you would do a bank debit automatic payment every month from your checking account. So you can maintain, hopefully, your exempt status for the lifetime that you're working in the state of Washington. That portability is also great because you have to pay into the state's plan for at least 10 years, and 5 of those years must be consecutive to be vested in the state's program. So if you bounce between states for different employers for whatever reason, that could cause a problem in terms of eligibility for the state's program. Also, if you terminate the plan with us, because it's a universal life policy, it will have a cash value of some sort, generally made known to you at least once a year. And so if you did surrender the policy, if there were any cash value in the policy, you would be eligible to have that money refunded to you as well. Last but not least, if I haven't mentioned it already, we want to make sure that you know that your spouses and your domestic partners can be added to our program at exactly the same cost based on whatever their age is as it would be for you. So if you're 40, it's $36.87 for the low benefit, $67.24 for the $75,000 benefit. But again, if you're 25, it's $19.37 or $34 for the $75,000 variety. So those numbers are going to stay the same regardless of what the state does, whether they raise the benefit, raise the cost that they're deducting from paychecks. Yours will remain the same, providing you were granted that exception on November the 1st to not pay starting January 2022. So if that sounds remotely more attractive to you, or you have additional questions, by all means, please give me a call. I'm in Bellingham. My phone number is 360-647-1662. But again, just recapping, you would have a walkaway value of any accumulated cash value at the time you surrender the policy. You qualify for the benefit, as soon as you started paying for it, and you have that $40,000 or $75,000 choice. Spousal enrollment or domestic partners are okay. Your rates are locked in for the life of the time you're in it. The only questions for large groups is tobacco use. If you're a smaller group, they may have some additional questions, but guaranteed issue is a possibility for groups of 10 and larger that are enrolling. And there's also additional eligibility of other programs and things that might make sense that are also voluntary, that Allstate is a leading provider of in this space. Again, thank you for your time. And if you have questions, again, Dennis Kaiser, Bellingham, Allstate, 360-647-1662. Thank you very much.